So good morning, my ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to talk a little bit about page 52, and where I had you search up and send me two definitions each for the words sectionalism and for the word nationalism. Now, in your word searching, you should have found definitions that gave you the sense that with sectionalism, it's talking about a chunk of something bigger, hence the word section. With nationalism, it's talking about a nation as a whole. Both of these words can have positive and negative meanings. So today, you are going to be writing out definitions for sectionalism and nationalism from me. These definitions are not my own creations. These have come about from multiple years of students where we've gone through and talked out what sectionalism and nationalism sounded like to us. So I'll go over those with you and get them posted up so that you can write them down. So the first one's going to be on page 52. So sectionalism, I'm going to give you 4 different definitions. Please do write all 4. And I'm going to give you a real cheesy image, and the pun there is both intended and unintended. So, sectionalism, using the root of the word section, is an exaggerated devotion or dedication to the interests of a region. A region is a synonym for a section. So, an exaggerated devotion to the interests of a region. You know that I was born in New England. I have lived in Florida now for 28 years, but I still consider myself a New Englander. I'm moving back there. I'm going to be a New Englander when I get back there. So it's coming full circle. Another definition for sectionalism is that it's a loyalty to the interests of one's own region, rather than the country as a whole. So people living in a particular part of the country may promote the interests of their region more than the rest of the country. Sometimes you see commercials for vacations going to a particular part of the country rather than just going to the United States as a whole. Third definition, promotion of the good of one section or region of the country over all other sections. That's a slight variation of number 2. Fourth definition is a devotion or dedication to the interests of a geographic region or section over the interests of the country as a whole. So this one gives you a little bit better definition because it talks about the boundaries of what makes a section. And in this instance, it is a geographic boundary. So when we talked about the colonial regions, we had New England, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Southern colonies. And 2 main factors separating these regions as you traveled north to south was the climate and the soil quality. The further north you went, the soil quality turned poor because of the glaciation during the last ice age scouring away the topsoil, and the climate on a whole was generally poor, long cold winters, short hot summers. Further south you got, climate got better. And so in my example, I have drawn a pizza. It may be a pepperoni pizza. As a whole, you can imagine that pizza as being a country. But when one piece pulls itself away and starts promoting itself instead of promoting the entire pizza, we can call this sectionalist pizza. And that one slice of pizza is saying, I am the greatest piece or section of pizza ever. I am the greatest. It is the Muhammad Ali of pizza. But it's just a slice. It's not the entire thing. It's just very, very high on itself. Now for nationalism is very different. Rather than being focused on a specific area, it focuses on the nation as a whole. In this case, a very simple definition for nationalism is patriotic feelings, principles, or interests. We do the pledge to the flag. We give up seats on airplanes for soldiers in uniform. We do things of that nature to show our patriotism. That could be considered nationalism. But then from there, the definitions kind of step up. Second definition says it is an extreme form of an extreme form of patriotism. And it's marked by feelings of superiority over the people of another country. So, for example, you could take one country. They have feelings about their own country that makes them feel better for whatever reason than their next door neighbor country. So let's use France and Germany. Actually, let's not use France and Germany. Let's use, I hope I don't go too far with this one, India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan haven't gotten along since the end of World War II. And part of that is a sense that one country is better. One country thinks it's better than the other. And the other country thinks it's better than the other. And so as a result of that, this is definition number 2, an extreme form of patriotism marked by feelings of superiority over the people of another country. Third definition, a feeling people have of being loyal. I'm loyal to my country. And proud. I am proud of my country. Often with the belief that their nation's better than other countries. So you can be very proud of your country. You can be extremely loyal to your country. And that's being nationalistic, being proud of your country. It's an extreme form of patriotism. But going beyond that, those beliefs are so strong that you think your country is better than other countries. Not just your next door neighbor, but any other country in the world. We see this a lot when we talked about the British colonizing the Americas. The British had a British-centric view of the world. That if you were born in the British Isles, you were better than any person else on the face of the earth. Then they become a little bit sectionalist. You become, if you were born in Britain itself, or England, as we would think of as England, you were better than an Englishman that was born in Scotland, or Wales, or Ireland. If you were born in the county that holds London, you were better than a person born in other counties in England, and so on down the line. And the last example of nationalism is probably the most extreme, and we could probably tie this one to Nazi Germany or Japan under Hirohito during World War II. Now, in his loyalty or devotion to a nation, especially as expressed in glorifying one nation above all others and stressing the promotion of its beliefs, principles, and culture. So, not only is my country better than your country, my country's belief system, how we do things, whether it's economics, religion, politics, social interaction, our healthcare system, our military, all of those things are better than everybody else's, and you just have to deal with it. Our principles, those things that guide us as a nation, are better than those of any other country. Our culture, what makes us who we are foundationally, is superior to the culture of any other nation. And a perfect example of how this works is the German national anthem. Now, during the Nazi regime, the beginning of the German national anthem had more to it than it does today. After World War II ended, 2 of the lines from the first stanza were removed. And the beginning of the German national anthem was Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles in der Welt, which means Germany, Germany, over all, or above all in the world. They are declaring that Germany is better or greater or superior to all the other countries in the world. That part which is part of Hitler's justification for his actions in Europe, was removed from the German national anthem. So hopefully that helps you get an understanding of what sectionalism and nationalism is. Sectionalism is when you take a part of a country, you split it off, and people care more about that one section than the whole. Nationalism is when everybody in the whole are so super dedicated to the whole that everybody outside of it is less, is inferior, are not as good as. You can almost look at the concept of nationalism as being something that could allow a country to create an institution like slavery and base it upon race, believing that the people of a particular country are so great, and including something like skin color, or being born in England, or being born in France, and that blind luck thing of being born in a particular place making you better than another person, which we know is completely untrue. You have no control over where you were born. You have no control over your skin color. You did not wake up this morning and say, I want to be blonde. The words of the great Lady Gaga, baby, you were born that way. Now on to the second paper, and that was the assignment for page 54, The Era of Good and Bad Feelings. That is the paper that looks as such. That paper has you analyzing these two images and sometimes comparing and contrasting them. Mainly, you have to focus on the man and the dogs. Please pay attention to labels. Please pay attention to words. Those will help you get an impression of what's going on in these pictures and how the country is changing between 1815 and 1825 and 1819 and 1860. Think about what the image is telling you. Try to interpret what the image is telling you and answer it out. If you cannot fit your answers onto this piece of paper, because in years past space is kind of an issue, you can answer it straight on the back, or you can answer it right on a regular line sheet of paper, take a picture of it, and submit that. If you have questions about this paper, page 54 assignment due tomorrow, for Thursday, for 6th period, first, second, third, fourth, and seventh, yours will be due on another day, and I'll tell you when that is. Drop me an email so I can help you. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a great day. Take care.